Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Tuesday, 21st October 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillian Group. Trinidad and Tobago Police under heightened alert. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, TTPS, is on high alert following a security advisory from the United States Embassy. Acting Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin said the action is to ensure the safety of everyone in the country, including foreign nationals. Details in this TTT News item.
Acting Police Commissioner Junior Benjamin explained the heightened alert by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is based on both the advisory issued by the United States Embassy and intelligence received. Commissioner Benjamin indicated police officers have been deployed and they are monitoring the situation closely.
We have decided to bring all our officers that are part and parcel of the operational team and tactical team together. We had a brief and I have ensured that these officers are presently on high alert to ensure safety and security of all our citizens, as well as the all foreign persons who are in Trinidad and Tobago. We have ensured at this time that our officers are ready to deal with any eventualities that might occur.
Mr. Benjamin is asking the public to remain calm, and he assured that the TTPS is actively responding to the advisory.
We want to assure the citizens that there's absolutely no need to panic, but we have ensured as police officers, understanding that we are in an SOE, as well as with the advisory, we have placed our officers there so that we are prepared, to ensure that there is officers always on standby to deal with any eventualities that might occur.
The advisory issued by the U.S. Embassy in Port of Spain warns its citizens to avoid and refrain from visiting all U.S. government facilities in Trinidad and Tobago throughout the Diwali holiday weekend. In addition, they are cautioning U.S. citizens to be aware of their surroundings and monitor reputable news outlets. Faith Chariot, TTT News.
Questions and concerns have been raised after two Trinidadian men identified as Chad Burnley and the other only as Samaru were killed in the U.S. strike on a vessel in international waters of Venezuela. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander spoke on the situation. Ovashitawari Rupnarayan of TV6 News reports.
Now, while we're sympathetic to the cause that these things are making those statements, what facts do we have? If you go on a ship or on a boat, what determines that he was on the boat? Not a passenger manifest or something like that? If you're on a plane, it's the same thing. You have a soul, where you tell how much souls are on the ship, on the plane, as the case may be. We have received no such information other than what we see on the public social media and from mainstream media. I suggested early that the family should have gone and made an official report and give the police the information that they would have. It would be easier for the police to do their work. But that it doesn't exist. And I recall this. Some years ago, right in San Juan, a family came and said a man was dead. And the circumstances much similar to what we are watching at now. Only to realize the man was breaking or hiding from the police and went to another country where he still resides. So I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from. However, once the information comes to law enforcement, or to my ministry, I will ensure that law enforcement take the appropriate steps to understand what is happening. We are able to identify the persons if they are in fact so. And if they have bodies, we'll have the bodies handed over to the family as the case may be. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, in this instance,
let me just also say this. Let me also say this. A lady called yesterday, my ministry breathless, and she said, you know what, look how these things unfold. The lady said, Mr. Alexander, I wish that the US would have come and engaged this situation 10 years ago. And I say why. And when she explained who she was, I recall working in Northeastern Division, she would have lost her 2 children to drugs. And they died. So you see, in one breath, if that is the case, one man is benefiting and other person suffering.
Says that since there's no evidence of the men being killed, relatives should file a missing persons report and work together with police to chart the way forward.
Tensions between the US and Venezuela are escalating as President Donald Trump signals readiness for potential military action. Reports confirm a U.S. covert operating base aboard the MV Ocean Trader in the region, while Venezuela activates its drone defenses in response. WION News has more.
2 suspected drug traffickers are being sent back to their home countries, Ecuador and Colombia. This is after a U.S. military strike targeted an alleged drug smuggling submarine in the Caribbean. Posting on his Truth Social platform, U.S. President Donald Trump said that it was, in his words, a great honor to destroy a very large drug-carrying submarine. He claimed that the vessel was loaded with fentanyl and other illegal drugs. Trump labeled all 4 individuals on board as terrorists, saying 2 were killed in the strike, while the surviving pair is now being returned for detention and prosecution. Colombian President Gustavo Petro confirmed that one of the survivors, a Colombian national, had been repatriated. Writing on social media platform X, Petro stated that he was glad the man had survived and would be prosecuted under Colombian law. The strike is the latest in what Trump called an unprecedented U.S. military campaign targeting drug smuggling routes from Latin America. Since September, at least 6 vessels, mainly high-speed boats, have been hit by U.S. forces in the Caribbean. Some are believed to have originated in Venezuela, while Washington insists the campaign is striking a major blow to the drug trade. It has not provided any evidence to support claims that the 27 people killed so far were actually drug traffickers. Legal experts have raised concerns, warning that summary killings, even of confirmed traffickers, are illegal under international law. The U.S. has not disclosed where the destroyed submarine departed, and semi-submersible vessels like this one are commonly built in secret jungle shipyards and have long been used to smuggle cocaine from South America, especially Colombia, to Central America or Mexico.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
In other news, Comptroller of Customs Raju Bodu has resigned. Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown made the announcement in Parliament on Thursday last, indicating it was a result of what he describes as willful neglect. The shake-up at the Customs Department was the subject of questions to the Prime Minister in the parliamentary sitting. Jamie J. Roger of ABS News reports.
The Prime Minister makes the revelation during Thursday morning session of the House of Representatives, confirming a resignation at the very top of the Customs Department. The revelation follows Opposition Leader Jamal Pringle's question about a string of recent government transfers and talk of resignations linked to questionable vehicle purchases.
It's in the public domain that there are some procedural breaches arising from perhaps negligence involving the acquisition of motor vehicles for the government of Antigua and Barbuda, our cabinet would have made a deliberate policy 2 years ago after we recognized that there was some abuse. One of the initiatives was to centralize these purchases so that each purchase of a motor vehicle had to be approved by the cabinet.
The Prime Minister says the cabinet's policy was designed to stop abuse of government vehicle purchases.
So I will accept to that there was a resignation, and that arose from what we believe to have been probably willful neglect. And where there is willful neglect, it suggests culpability. And as a consequence, there was a resignation.
Responding to a question from St. George MP Algernon Watt, the Prime Minister later reveals the official in question.
And the person who actually resigned is the Comptroller of Customs.
The Prime Minister stops short of saying how many vehicles are involved, but says the government is now going system-wide, tightening checks, redeploying officials, and reviewing customs and other revenue departments for possible abuse. James J. O'Shea, ABS News.
The Caribbean Court of Justice has dismissed former Prime Minister Alan Chastain's appeal to reinstate customs proceedings against St. Lucia's Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ernest Hilaire, ruling the challenge legally misconceived. The decision marks another legal defeat for Chastanet, while critics warn it raises concerns about transparency and accountability in St. Lucia. Miriam Montoute of the DBS News World reports.
Challenge sought to reverse the withdrawal of customs violation proceedings against the current Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ernest Hilaire. In a Facebook post, Dr. Hilaire stated that, quote, Alan Chastanet, for almost 10 years, has spared no efforts in trying to destroy my reputation. He has failed at every turn. He has failed again today. End quote. Hilaire went on to state that the appeal was a last-ditch effort to make the courts force the Director of Public Prosecutions to reinstate proceedings against him. He ended the post by saying, quote, I encourage Alan Chastanet, in the words of the court, to stop the unnecessary consumption of judicial resources, end quote. Meanwhile, the United Workers' Party, UWP, has issued a press release criticizing the ruling, stating the narrow focus on legal reviewability is a, quote, deep setback for transparency and public trust. The UWP also says that it views the CCJ's ruling as a setback for accountability and good governance in St. Lucia. According to the UWP, the public remains uninformed because the court did not examine the underlying facts of how a luxury vehicle was imported under the state's name, but ended up in private ownership, despite customs officers once bringing and then withdrawing formal charges. The party asserts that the outcome reinforces a troubling message that, quote, rules bend for the powerful, end quote. The party vows to continue its mission to defend integrity and push for stronger accountability measures to ensure such situations can never occur again. For the DBS News World, Miriam Montoute reporting.
HGP's Antonio Day says Canadian High Commissioner has reaffirmed his country's unwavering support for Guyana's sovereignty amid the ongoing border controversy with Venezuela, stressing that stability and legal resolution are vital for fostering a predictable business climate.
During an exclusive interview with Nightly News on Thursday, Ambassador Sebastian Sigon said his country has already indicated its position where a country's territorial integrity must be respected.
Said that Canada has been on record for being supportive of Guyana's sovereignty. We've been very clear about it. The other thing we've been very clear about as well is that the controversy is before the International Court of Justice, and that's where it must be resolved.
Ambassador Sigon noted the importance of regional stability and necessity for a conducive business climate.
The important aspect of that, when you look at it from a business perspective, is this having a final decision, having stability, a clear sense of the sovereignty. That also brings stability to the business environment.
Ambassador Sigon is adamant that a sense of peace and civility must prevail when the territorial controversy is conciliated before the ICJ.
For many Canadian businesses, but also businesses from other countries, what they do want is a business environment that is predictable, a business environment that is transparent, and a business environment that is stable.
The International Court of Justice, ICJ, has ruled that it has the jurisdiction over the case and ordered Venezuela to refrain from actions that could alter the status quo. Venezuela has rejected the ICJ's authority and continues to maintain its claim. The court is expected to examine written submissions from both Ghana and Venezuela in early as 2026 before moving toward a decision. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.